So this is for those of you that are aiming for a grade 8 or 9, and these are topics that are really likely to come up for some of the harder marks in the papers. Okay, so first of all, these I've got 6 topics that are really likely to come up for some of the longer and harder marks in the paper. This is specifically for Edexcel higher tier. So number 1, coordinate geometry, you're really likely to get a question, quite a difficult question on this topic. Number 2, vectors. Again, this comes up for some of the harder marks. Then you've got surds, some difficult indices questions. So again, I'm going to show you a couple of examples. You're also likely to get a volume and surface area question, especially those where you leave it in terms of pi, and then a harder ratio question as well. So let's try this question 1. What I'd do is I'd pause it, read through it, and then we'll start going through it. So this is a really interesting question where ABCD is a rectangle. AEB are points on a straight line with the equation x plus 2y equals 12. A and D are points on the straight line M, which as you can see is perpendicular. AE is equal to EB, so these two lengths are the same as well. Find an equation for M. Okay, so first what I'm going to do is I'll find out my equation for L. So, well, I'm given the equation, but I'm going to write it in y equals mx plus c form, just to make it easier for myself. Okay, so if I was to do that, I know 2y is equal to minus x plus 12. Divide by 2, so y is equal to minus a half x plus 6. Okay, so the gradient of L is minus a half. Now, I need the gradient of M, which is perpendicular, so that's just going to be 2, because the negative reciprocal of minus a half is 2. So M is going to be 2x. The gradient is going to be 2x plus c. And to work out c, I'm going to need that. Now, I know that this, from this equation, is 0, 6. And then if I make the y equal to 0, then my part B is going to be 12, 0. Okay, so I know that the x difference here is 12 and the y difference here is 6. And so to find out A, because AE and EB are the same, I need to do 6 plus 6 to get the y, and then minus 12. So that's going to be minus 12, 12. So I'm going to sub that into here to get my full thing. So we know y equals 2x plus c. We're going to sub in the coordinates minus 12, 12. And let's do that. So y is equal to 12. X is equal to minus 12. So plus c is going to be plus 36. So so c is going to be 36. So my equation for line M is y is equal to 2x plus 36. Question 2, given that 10 minus root x, 5 plus root x is equal to y root x plus 39, where x is a prime number and y is an integer, find the value of x and y and show your working. So let's use FOIL to expand the first part. So just remember FOIL, first outer and then inner last, or you can think about the I method. So 10 times 5 is 50 plus 10 times root x. So 10 root x minus 5 root x minus x, and that is equal to y root x plus 39. Okay, so that's going to be 50 plus 5 root x minus x is equal to y root x plus, why am I right, 39. Okay, now we are going to group the constants together and the surds together. So the 5 root x is basically your y root x. Okay? So 5 root x is equal to y root x. And then your 50 minus x is 39. Okay? 50 minus x is 39. So here our x is just 50 minus 39, which is 11. And our y is just 5. Okay? So that's your answer. Now here, this is rationalizing, and you're very likely to get something like this. So 8 plus root 12 times 5 minus root 3, because remember you change the sign of the denominator. So you multiply the numerator by the conjugate of the denominator. So you're basically doing this. And then, so numerator, 8 times 5 is 40, minus 8 root 3, plus 10 root 3, minus 6. Okay, so you can do that all, but it would give you minus 6. Okay, when you times that out, because it's going to be minus root 36, which is minus 6. Okay, and then the bottom is going to be 5 times 5, which is 25. Now the minus 5 root 3 and the plus 5 root 3, they cancel, and so you'll be left with minus, just minus 3. So that'll be 0. And so you will get 40 minus 6 is 34, minus 8 root 3 plus 10 root 3 is just plus 2 root 3, and then over 22. And you can simplify that to write it in the form they want you to write it, which they want you to divide everything by 2 basically. So it's going to be 17 plus root 3 over 11. So your A is 17 and your B is 11. Okay? Alright, next question. This is again a tricky one. So what I'd like you to do is I would like you guys to pause and try it. Okay? So here, first of all, you need to realize that the bases need to be the same. And this is basically using the multiplication law. So 32, that's going to be 2 to the power of 5. So 2 to the power of 5 is 32. I'm going to write all of these as powers of 2 basically. So 2 to the power of x, and that's going to be 2 to the power of 4 to the power of 29 over 12. Okay? So here I'm going to have use the power law to expand this out. So it's going to be 2 to the power of 25 over 3 times 2 to the power of x, and that's going to equal 2 to the power of 4 times that, which is 116 over 12. And now your multiplication law of indices says that when the bases are the same, you add the powers. So now you've just got a equation where 25 over 3 plus x is going to be equal to 116 over 12. Okay? And here your x will just be 4 over 3, because that can simplify down to 29 over 3. So that will just be 4 over 3. Okay, again, we're going to write the bottom as a base of 3. So 3 to the power of n over 3 squared to the power of n minus 1. Okay, which is basically 3 to the power of n over 3 to the power of 2n minus 2. And so you can just take away the powers. So n take away 2n minus 2, and that's going to be equal to minus n plus 2. And that is your answer, okay? As a power, okay, right as a power of 3. So 3 to the power of minus n plus 2, or 2 minus n, okay? So that's that. Now let's try this one. So here it says the surface area of the cube is equal to the surface area of the sphere. So the surface area of the cube is going to be 6x squared, and the surface area of the sphere is 4 pi r squared, and r is 3. Okay, this is quite an easy one actually, but you're likely to get this type of question just harder, leaving in terms of pi. So 6x squared is equal to 9 times 4, which is 36 pi. And here you just want x. So you can just do x squared first, which is 36 over 6, which is 6 pi. And x, which is going to be root 6 pi. Okay? So you'll probably get something a bit harder than this, but that is that. And then this question, it says the surface area, this is quite a difficult one. So the surface area of container A and the surface area of container B is in the ratio 4 to 9. Tyler fills container A with water. She then pours all the water into container B and repeats this and stops when it's full. All right? You must work out the number of times that Tyler fills the container A with water. Now this is a tricky one, but what you've got to realize is this is the surface areas ratio, and you want the volume ratio because you want to compare how full they are of water. So to go between the ratio of the surface areas to the volumes, you can just work out lengths to start with of the containers, which would be square rooting them. So just in terms of lengths, it's going to be 2 to 3. And then the volume, you know the volume is cubed. So it's going to be 2 cubed to 3 cubed, which is going to be 8 to 27. And so now you're seeing how many of your A's can fit into B. So you can just do 27 divided by 8, and you actually get a decimal. So you get 3.37, something like that. But you just want to know how many times you would fill that up. So this is why this can come up in a non-calculator, because it's just going to be 4 times that you fill it up. Okay, so these were just some examples of some of the types of questions that can come up. Obviously, they're going to change the numbers and it's going to be slightly different, but good topics to practice. Okay, so I'm going to show you the topics again. But yeah, these are good topics to practice. And we will be running a class on Wednesday, so literally just tomorrow evening, going through a full predicted paper and more topics. So if you're interested in joining, message me on the following number or email me, and I can get you, I can join you onto them. It will basically be you trying a paper yourself. So finding a time to do it, because we are quite late, but then we will be going through it. But even if you haven't done the paper, it would be a good idea to join the class. And we'll have a separate time for foundation and a separate time for higher. So 4:30 will be for the foundation tier, and then 5:30 will be for the higher tier. And if you need any sort of support or help, I will be able to help you in those sessions, because they're going to be really, really small group sessions. So let me know if you want to join, and good luck with your exams.